Hello and welcome to the Death Row and Executions channel. My name is Paco Rivera and I do presentations on an execution happening soon, including a story on what got the death row inmate sentenced to death. You can also follow me on Facebook for updates and more death row news. There will be a link to my Facebook in the description below. Also, check out my other channel here on YouTube called The Maximum Sentence, where I cover a recent crime and conviction. There will also be a link for that. Texas death row inmate James Garfield Broadnax, who is now 37 years old, was 19 years old when he murdered two people, a crime that later got him sentenced to death. Broadnax was born in 1988. He dropped out of school in the 10th grade, and as so many others his age and in his situation do, he had turned to drugs as often as he can. His drug of preference was PCP, according to reports. Broadnax also wrote rap lyrics and kept notebooks filled with handwritten verses. And you should know that some of the lyrics that he wrote were actually used against him by prosecutors at his trial. And after killing two men in need of money for drugs, the most he and his accomplice found in the pocket of one of the two men that were murdered was $2. That's what he got, $2. They also used one of the victim's 1995 Ford Crown Victoria to get back home. Broadnax would later say that he had set out to rob because he was in need of money to get him back to his hometown of Texarkana, but it seems nobody really believed that. During the late night hours after what was now June 19th of the year 2008, Broadnax had gotten together with his cousin Demarius Cummings, who was the same age as Broadnax, 19. While at Cummings' apartment in South Dallas earlier in the evening, where Broadnax was also staying, they made plans to go rob someone of their money. Now, Cummings' mother, Broadnax's aunt, had an AK-47 rifle, but that would be too big to take with them. So Broadnax borrowed the rifle from his aunt and exchanged it with someone on the street for a smaller handgun. Shortly thereafter, they got on a train and they left Dallas and traveled to Garland, Texas, about 32 miles away. Broadnax would later say that the reason they chose Garland was because there are mostly rich white people in that area. Meanwhile, sometime after midnight, 28-year-old Matthew Butler and 26-year-old Stephen Swan were working late at Zion Gate Records, a music studio owned by Matthew Butler. The studio typically recorded Christian music. Stephen was a sound engineer. Matthew was described as a committed Christian, a loving husband, a father, and the beloved son of his parents. Here we see Matt standing outside his recording studio alongside his dad. When Matthew and Stephen had completed their session sometime about 1 o'clock in the morning, they left Zion Gate Records and locked up. Just outside the recording studio, they were approached by two young men, James Broadnax and Demarius Cummings. Broadnax and Cummings pretended to engage the two recording studio men with some friendly conversation. Broadnax had first asked if they had a cigarette. They then began asking questions about what kind of music they produce and other friendly chit-chat questions. But a moment came when Broadnax retrieved the handgun that he was carrying and began shooting both Matthew and Steve. After rifling through their pockets with the men down on the ground, they retrieved a total of $2 inside one of the wallets and some car keys. Broadnax and Cummings got inside of Steve's 95 Ford Crown Victoria with the wallet and the $2 and drove back to Dallas. Shortly after 1 o'clock in the morning, a local riding his bicycle and going past Zion Gate Records saw the two men lying dead on the ground. And because there was a fire station nearby, he quickly went there and reported what he saw, and Garland police were notified. Once back in Dallas, Broadnax returned the handgun to his acquaintance on the street, and he got the AK-47 back, which he then returned to his aunt once they were back in the apartment. While there, Broadnax, with people around in the apartment, bragged about the murders and even showed some of the people there Steve's driver's license. Broadnax had also said that he was going to go sell the car. Later, Broadnax and Cummings removed the forged license plates and replaced them with plates from a Cadillac. After that, Broadnax and Cummings went to a pawn shop where they pawned some tools that was in the victim's car. They then drove to Broadnax's hometown, Texarkana. Apparently, along the way, they had also stopped to pick up an 18-year-old named Lonnie Harris. Meanwhile, a friend of Broadnax's aunt, who was in the apartment and overheard the entire conversation when Broadnax and Cummings were there, had seen news on TV about the two murders in Garland, and she picked up the phone and called Garland police and told them exactly who they need to look for. In Texarkana, a police officer ran the license plate on the Ford going past him, and he saw that those plates were registered to a Cadillac. So he did a traffic stop on the Ford. He then ran the VIN number for the vehicle and learned that the car was stolen and involved in a double homicide in Garland. All three men in the car were arrested for murder. Garland police were notified, and they went to Texarkana to pick up the three men and take them back to Garland. The third man in the car, Lonnie Harris, was later cleared when police concluded that he was not present when the crime happened. Over the following days, James Broadnax agreed to give recorded interviews to news media sources, something usually strongly advised against by defense lawyers. But he did it anyway. And he not only showed no remorse for what he had done, it seemed he just wanted to make himself famous for what he had done. Here is a segment of one of those interviews. I have cut out from the audio some parts when Broadnax spoke profanities.
Cuz, I want to tell my story. What happened?
What happened? Why?
You know what I'm saying? Let's hop on the train. Let's go to downtown Garland, you know what I'm saying? And we gonna rob somebody. Let's go out there where the rich white folks stay. You know what I'm saying? Rob one of them. You know what I'm saying? So we get out there and shit. Time just ticking. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Shit, something gotta go down, dog, cause it's a long walk back to South Dallas. You know what I'm saying? We walking through by, you know what a recording thing is, right? You know what I'm saying? In the bank right behind it. So we walking through the parking lot. Like, man, y'all got one of y'all got a cigarette? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So shit, he went to go reach for it, pulled the pistol, shot him, shot the driver. He like, the one I shot at first, he stumbled back, you know what I'm saying, like dropped, got back up like he was finna run. The one I hit second, you know what I'm saying, he raised up like he was finna do something, so I shot him in the head, you know what I'm saying. Then the other one, shit, shot him twice in the head. You know what I'm saying, so me and my cousin ran their pockets, you know what I'm saying, got the keys, got their wallet. Hopped in the driver, hopped in the passenger side, we dipped.
Do you have any remorse? None whatsoever.
Do it look like?
So you're gonna, what do you think is gonna happen to you now?
Hopefully the death penalty.
Hopefully?
Yeah.
Why do you hope?
Can they give me life? I'm gonna kill somebody else. Straight up. I'm telling you right now.
So you want the death penalty?
They better pick one. Or you gonna have some more bodies.
What did you think when the police caught up to you?
What I think? When they hit the lights, I said, damn. And started laughing, you know what I'm saying? Just like I'm doing now. And looked them in their face with a big smirk.
And right now, as we're talking, they're burying these two men in their funerals. Still not an ounce of sympathy, not an ounce of remorse for them or their families?
No.
Those news interviews that Broadnax gave did not help him with his trial or sentence when that time came. And as we know, he was sentenced to death. His cousin and partner in crime, Demarius Cummings, was also found guilty of murder, and he was sentenced to life without parole. Earlier, I spoke a little about one of the victims, Matthew Butler. The other victim in this case, Stephen Swan, known fondly as Steve, was born in Dallas in 1982. Steve was also a devoted Christian who loved to sing, played various instruments, and enjoyed recording Christian music. He and Michael were longtime friends and very much enjoyed spending time together, sharing the passion that they both enjoyed, producing Christian music at Zion Gate Records. As one family member stated in an obituary, friends and family can take some comfort in knowing that they had joined each other in heaven. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button for more of these death row and upcoming execution stories so that you're alerted when the next one comes out. You can also follow me on Facebook for updates and more. There will be a link to my Facebook in the description below. My name is Paco Rivera. Thank you for watching. Take care and bye for now.